Hey everyone, so today I'm just going to be doing a quick demo of setting up Linux on a USB flash drive and programming a few games with RetroCircuits N64 programmer and their flash boards. So to do this, basically you're just going to need to download a Linux ISO and have a spare flash drive. Because doing this will format the drive and delete all the data on there. So you're going to either need to get a new flash drive or at least make sure you back up everything you got on there if you don't want to lose your data. So I'm using a 32 gig drive, but the Linux ISOs, they're very small, about less than 2 gigs. So even if you have a 4 gig or 8 gig stick, this should still work. So I'm going to go ahead and install my USB. You see right there that it comes up. And the application I like to use is this one right here. It's called Rufus, doesn't cost you anything. And just go ahead up here, make sure your right drive is selected. Only removable drives should show up there. And here you're going to go ahead and select your partition type. So you have either UEFI or BIOS. Now I'm going to be using this on a laptop that I bought back in about 2012, 2013 that still has a newer UEFI system. So go ahead, select UEFI. If that one doesn't work, you can always reformat it and then go back to NBR, which is the older formatting style. And pretty much everything else I'm just going to leave alone. Just select all the default settings. And you click that little button right there, and you can select what image you want to load up. So I do have a few different ones that I downloaded earlier when I was testing out, so I'm just going to go ahead and use Ubuntu for this demonstration. So you have your image selected, you have your USB drive selected, and you just hit start. And it's going to ask you how you want to program. Just go ahead and use the recommended setting of ISO image mode, hit OK. And you get the final warning, hey, everything's going to be deleted. Make sure you got your stuff backed up if you want to keep it. Hit OK. And now it's going to go ahead and format everything and copy the image over to the USB drive. So I'm going to speed up the video and I'll be back once that's done. Alright, and there we go. Formatting is done. You can see right down here in the bottom right. It took about 2.5 minutes. So I do have the Linux ISO stored on a mechanical drive, but I am writing to a USB 3 drive, so that'll make it go a little bit faster. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my laptop, and we're going to go ahead and program board on Linux. Alright, so now I've got the laptop set up, and I have the flash drive plugged in over to the side USB port. So first thing we're going to need to do is turn on the computer, and you're going to need to load into the setup. So on most computers, you're going to either press F2 or the delete key while the computer is loading up. So on this particular laptop, it's mapped to the F2 key, so I'm going to hit power, and just keep tapping F2 until I get into the setup. Alright, now we're into the setup. So each computer is going to be a little bit different. So you might need to go into the boot menu or the advanced, change your boot order. But as for my computer, I just come over here to the exit menu. And there's an option here that says boot override. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the flash drive that I have plugged in that has Linux loaded on it. And I'm going to press enter. Alright, and then now I have a few different options here. So there's try Ubuntu without installing, install Ubuntu, OEM install for manufacturers, and check this for defects. So I'm going to go ahead and select the first option, try Ubuntu without installing. So it's going to run the entire Linux operating system right off that USB drive. And now we play the waiting game. Okay, now we're loaded into the operating system. So I'm going to go ahead and close the shortcut keys. And this is the taskbar over here, or the Ubuntu equivalent. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is going to right click on everything, and I'm going to unlock from the launcher just because I don't need them. And I'm only going to be in here for probably like 20 minutes or so. And as you can see right here, this is actually the internal hard drive. So if you have all your ROMs on a hard drive, you can still access the hard drive that's still installed to the computer. So this computer doesn't have any ROMs, so I'm going to go ahead and insert my SD card. And it should pop up right over here in a moment. Yep, there it goes. Right, and then I'm just going to go ahead and copy these to the desktop. So these are all ROMs that use the 6102 CIC, and they use a 4K EEPROM for saving. I just picked those ROMs because I already have the board set up with those jumpers, and I don't feel like soldering anything right now. So it's a little bit less than a gigabyte, so it's moving along pretty good, about 17 megs a second. So let's just wait for that to finish up. And there we go, that's done. I'm going to go ahead and close that, remove my SD card. As you can see right over there on the left, it disappears. So now I'm going to go ahead, insert a board, and power on the programmer. And I'm hoping you can see that red light. Alright, and in the last video we were showing you how you fix the Windows 10 error messages. This is the board that I programmed Mario Kart onto. So I'm just going to go ahead, right click on the ROM, and for Ubuntu there's not actually a delete button, there's a move to trash. That's the Linux equivalent of the recycling bin. So it's going to say move to trash, it's going to say hey, it's got to be permanently deleted, you want to go ahead and delete it? Yes I do. Alright, and the green light is lit up on the programmer. Not sure how well that's coming out. Can't really see for crap on the preview of my cell phone. Looks like it should be viewable. So you're just going to go ahead and let it do its thing. It is going to disconnect, but the green light will still be lit up. So it will automatically reconnect to the computer after it's all erased and ready to be reprogrammed. So I'm going to go ahead, fast forward the video, and I'll check back with you. Okay, so now the drive is disconnected from the computer, but the green light is still lit up, so I just need to give it some more time to erase. Okay, and there we go, it's reconnected to the computer now. And we just have the CFI data file. So let's go ahead and move this over there. And pick a new ROM that I'm going to program. So let's take a look and see what I got here. There should be just about every one that has the 6102 and the 4K save. So let me take a look here and decide which one I want to program. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and do Wave Race 64. So green light's lit up. Typically it would show the copy going on. Not sure why it's not doing it this time. But we'll know it's done once that green light goes off. Looks like Wave Race is about 8 megs, so it shouldn't take too long. Okay, and the green light is off. I'm just going to go ahead and power cycle. And there we go, we got flash.z64. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect, and we'll test it out on the N64. Okay, one last thing I just wanted to show you. Just in case you don't know how to shut this down, there's a little power icon up here on the very top right. Just click on that, then you can click shutdown. It's going to ask you if you want to reboot or shut down, just like shut down. And the computer's off, then you can remove the USB and boot back into Windows. Now, let's head over to the N64 and see if we can load up Wave Race. Okay, and there's the board that I just programmed. So I'm going to throw it in the N64 and we should get Wave Race. And there we go. Again, not really sure why Ubuntu didn't show the file move in progress. It did it every other time I tried it. But luckily, because we got that activity light right there, it's no problem. You can definitely see when it's done programming, and you know it's safe to unplug and throw in your N64.